Hello, streamline headlines hitting and buzzing the internet, television systems, the broadcasting. Kosi la Africa. I love Africa. God bless Africa. Africa is blessed. And I'm proud to be African. I'm proud to be a human. Today, I'm going to talk about something that many of the Africans are not aware of. Some of them are aware of it, but it's like a fairy tale. So, the reason why most of the Africans are thinking the way they're thinking, mostly thinking that they're inferior than the Westerners, than the Europeans, than the Chinese, is because of what they did. Most of the technology is passed on from generation to generation. In this time around, it's passed through learning institutions, and what you are taught and what you do can easily be infused into your culture, and you can run with it. I'll give an example. Indians, they are very good in business. They introduce their children to business at a very young age. But what do we do in Zambia? We say when you introduce a child in business when he's very young, he's going to become a thief. He's going to become a problem. But why don't our friends become that way? How did it start? When we look at the Chinese, they are always into technology, and it has been passed on from ages to generation. When you look at videos on TikTok, videos on YouTube, what the Chinese children are doing can baffle you. But look at what the Africans are doing. This is what we were taught to be doing. So now, it all comes back to our education system. It's about the history that we were taught. This is the reason why I'm bringing this program, Reprogramming Africa. Reprogramming Africa. The way we think has been programmed by somebody else. Our culture has been shaped by somebody else. It has so much been filtrated into our culture to an extent that when we were growing up, we felt like, oh, when you speak English, you are somebody who is special. And I can confess right now, when I was in grade 8, I didn't want to learn any local language in school, because there was this notion, where is the local language going to take me? What benefit am I going to have out of it? It's because I didn't know, and I was also filled with this inferiority complex, which was planted to our fathers and our forefathers. And who did it? Yes, I hope you are getting tracked. The colonizers. They did a good job. Back in history, Alexander the Great, when he conquered nations, what did he do? He introduced Greek into their language. He introduced the Greek gods, the Greek culture, everything about Greek he introduced to them. And even Greek names, to an extent that even literature was in Greek. And now we see a lot of science, physics. You wonder, what is lambda when you're doing physics? It's just a Greek letter. It was going to be easier if it was in your local language. So now, this is the reason why we are so much backwards, because we were programmed, and the technology that we had. To give an example, do you know that we used to make our own pots? Do you know that people in the village never used to take a big industry? People in the village used to melt stones, make pots, make arrows, make plows. Do you know that? For example, here in Zambia, in Lundas, it used to happen a long time ago. And I was privileged when I met with the elders, and they told me how it was being done. And one of the things that they did best was, number one, to let me know that we are inferior to Westerners. So they introduced the Darwin theorem, which is the theory of evolution, which tells us that, oh, a black man is closer to a monkey, and so he's not fully developed, he's not fully evolved. Okay. Even Hitler said the same thing. He said that even the Europeans, the Asians, they were not fully developed unless a German with blue eyes. Yeah, he was the one who was on the top ladder of evolution. Now, what we were learning in school was always programming us into somebody who is inferior, somebody who is going to be employed, someone who is not supposed to use their own brain, someone who is supposed to look up to the Europeans to discover something and tell them this is the way it happens. If you do it the other way, it will never happen. And don't even dare to try it because you don't even have the brains to do it. Okay? I'll give an example. Why in the world can children in secondary school, we have our own history and we're saying Dr. David Livingstone discovered the Victoria Falls? It's a wrong narrative. It's supposed to be Dr. David Livingstone was the first European to see the Victoria Falls or to discover the Victoria Falls for the Europeans. Okay, so we used to do all those things, and what did they do? They introduced licenses that were almost like equivalent to Lumana mine. And if you are found with a hoe, with a knife that is made from the village, they'll ask you, where did you buy it? And if you show them where you bought it, they'll ask you for a receipt. They'll ask the person who made it and ask them for a license, mining license, manufacturing license. Imagine in the village manufacturing license. So the people were arrested, their technology was destroyed, and it was not passed on from generation to generation. The only things that were passed on from generation to generation were dances. This is the reason why Africans are good at dancing and singing. So most of the creative technologies were cut off, but we are here to change the narratives. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, I want us to stand together and tell our young children and tell our siblings, our friends, that we are not worse. We are just as human as every other human in the world, and we can produce things, we can discover things. This time around, there is a monopoly of technology and rights, and if we do not come together, we will never develop. Even when you discover something, they will tell you, no, this thing can't work. At the same time, they are getting your knowledge and they are producing something behind your back, and it's gonna come from Europe, and you're saying, oh, the Europeans are so powerful. There's a video that I'm just editing. It's talking about the some of the African inventors. And did you know that even fiber optic
How can we partner with people from the Ministry of Science and Technology, from the Ministry of Energy,